Hey you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to do an empties. It feels like ages since I've done an empties, and yet, I mean, there's enough in there, but it's not huge, is it? So as always, I'm just going to get stuck in and not do it in any order, although I do think there's two of these. So these are my long-loved Tresemme Deep Cleanse shampoo. They've changed the packaging slightly and it now says on it plus vitamin complex B3, B6, B7, C and E. Anyway, I've been using this Deep Cleanse shampoo for many, many years, and I love now that you can get it in these smaller bottles. I don't know why that one's all squished like that. They're both definitely empty. When I used to get the big bottle, and I used to talk about how it's hard for me to pick up. You know, I've got arthritis in my fingers and whatnot, and in my elbows, and it's just really, really heavy and clumsy to use. And so I've always bought the small bottles if I can find them, which I get mine from Asda. I used to buy these for my mother-in-law as well, bless her, because she was the same. And people will always say, oh, why don't you just pour from the big bottle to the small bottles? Okay, there's two reasons why that's an issue. I'm saying that, and now this one's got a screw top. Do you know, normally the top, I think it might be on the big bottle, is not a screw top. These ones obviously are, but on the jumbo size bottle, it's one of those that you'd have to pry off with something, and I would end up cutting myself. I mean, I did this on, you can't see how deep it is, but I did this on a cheese grater thing the other day. Not a cheese grater, you know those vegetable choppers? I was trying to use it to chop cheese into little cubes, and it didn't work quite as well. Forgot what I was doing, and I went and tried to push the cheese through. Ridiculous, and cut my thumb. It was the day before Kev's mum's funeral. I felt so bad because it was the evening, and I was like, oh no. And he was out walking Watson, and I was desperately trying to get it to stop bleeding and couldn't. And he came in and I was like, I'm sorry, but I can't stop this bleeding. You know, I was just thinking, if we need to go to A&E or something, like, this is going to be a nightmare. But that was a week ago, and I've been gluing it ever since. It only looks tiny, doesn't it? But like I said, Kev was helping me. I actually sat with my hand like that for 10 minutes, and it stopped bleeding. What was my point in that? Oh yeah, I'd end up hurting myself because, like I said, you'd need some sort of tool to break into the bottle, and then I still have to hold the bottle and balance it to pour it in, or try and get a funnel. No, it's just too much hassle. So I like buying these smaller bottles. Love them. In fact, I need some more. And I love that shampoo. I love the fact that your hair just feels that little bit squeaky. I have to say, in using them more recently, I haven't felt that same squeaky clean from them. But it's fine. It's still there a little bit, but it's just not quite as harsh. But I love that. And then piling on conditioner. I just feel like it prepares the hair well, you know. This is something I talked about before. It is the Garnier Ultimate Blends Banana Hair Drink. The first thing I would say is it doesn't smell of bananas, because I know that there are others like me that don't like the smell of bananas. I like a banana. I'm not crazy about eating bananas, but I have to be really in the mood for them. And I've recently discovered this chocolate cake that you make with bananas. It's literally bananas, ground flaxseed, a teaspoon of lemon juice, cocoa powder. I'm going to try it with cacao powder. Is that it? Oh, and I put some chocolate drops in it. You know, you can put some dark chocolate chunks or something like that. It is so tasty, but it does taste of bananas. It's really, really weird because it looks like a chocolate cake, but it tastes more of bananas than chocolate. And I think I'm going to put some pecans or walnuts or something in it next time. I'm going off on a lot of rambles, I know, today. But it doesn't smell like bananas, is my point. It does, however, smell very strongly of alcohol. And I said that the first time after I got it and used it. But I am loving these Lamellar waters. And I feel like they're kind of going out of fashion. It seems like they're disappearing off the shelves. I was hoping to see, you know, when something kind of works, you'll see brands jumping on the bandwagon and bringing their own version out. And I kept hoping for that because there isn't many cruelty-free ones, you know. So I've been keeping an eye out, but I haven't seen any. In fact, I've seen less on the shelves because the other one that I'm going to talk about, I haven't seen on the shelves. I actually ordered another one from Amazon. But do I like it? Yes, I do like this. And I've been loving using these as a sort of quick rinse after washing my hair, and then I will towel dry it and then put some deep conditioner on and walk around like that. It just helps to like comb through any other conditioner. I know that it's an extra step, but my hair has just been so dry since menopause time, you know, that the more I can add in, the better. And these are just so easy to use, you know, so I do love it. It is very alcohol smelling. So I don't use this one actually in the shower. I very rarely have a shower. I tend to have a bath or wash my hair with the handheld shower or use the handheld shower in the bath. But I use this in my bathroom and not in the shower. It just seems in the shower it's really overpowering the alcohol, you know, but it does just add that extra softness and detangling to my hair. Same kind of thing for this one. I haven't used this for a long time. This has been sitting in my empties for a long time, and I did look on the shelves of Superdrug to see if they did it. It's the Revolution, says Plex 10 Bond Restore Lamellar Water, and I couldn't see this in Superdrug, but I just bought it. Is this one I just bought? I'm pretty sure it is. It's either this one or the Hair Boss. No, it was this one. It was this one. And yeah, I love this one too. So I have bought another one of these. I would buy another one of these. I bought another one of these from Amazon just a couple of days ago. It just arrived. A random bath thing I've put in here. And this is the Dove Bath Salts. There's two flavours of this. This one is the coconut and cacao. And then there is a rose and something. And oh my goodness, I need to tell you about these because they are both amazing, the scents. And I feel that a lot of bath salts and bath oils, it's much bath foams because they don't tend to promise you a scent, do they? There's a neighbour's dog that we know, well, and his owner, obviously. But this is just amazing. I couldn't believe it when I smelt it because I don't tend to like the smell of coconut in cosmetics and things. I feel like it often smells fake. But this one, it's definitely coconut and cacao. It's like that chocolate smell or that cocoa butter smell, you know. Cocoa butter, that's what it smells like, but a more perfumed cocoa butter. But the reason I'm telling you about this is not just because they smell lovely, because they don't, the smell doesn't last on your skin, but you could almost use this as a house scent, because when I put this in my bath, I can smell it in the whole house, literally in the whole house, and I can smell it after I've had my bath as well. Like I said, I don't think it stains my skin. I haven't noticed the smell on my skin, you know, but it's just so amazing, as it really makes for a nice experience because you can smell it while you're in the bath. And I feel like there's very few things that do that. So if you see these, don't pass them by. It's worth buying because you don't need very much in the bath to get that really strong scent. So love that. God, why am I so thirsty today? Okay, on to skincare. This is the Garnier Micellar Hyaluronic Aloe Water. Yeah, I said micellar water. It's a bit boring, isn't it? But you guys know I love the micellar waters. I love the Garnier micellar waters. I use the mixed micellar oil and water one for makeup removal. I've got a little thing back there that's got lots of micellar waters in. But this is my favourite one that I use kind of first thing in the morning. I just use this to go over my eyes, over my face. And I really like this aloe one because it does have a scent. It does, and it's really refreshing, but it is, you know, it's fragrance. If you're trying to avoid that, that's not the one for you. But they do, I think it's the sensitive one. The pink one doesn't have any scent in it. Oh, this next one, you will be seeing this. Is there something else here? Yeah. You will be seeing this in a favourites, I'm sure. If I do a favourites, and I'm due to do one, you know, there's a few things I'm like, oh, I need to put that in a favourites. And this is one of them. It is the e.l.f. Holy Hydration e.l.f. Off Makeup Remover. This is amazing. It is another oil and water thing, but this is not one that you use in the shower. At least I don't think it says that. It's not how I use it. What does it say? How to use. Shake the e.l.f. out of the bottle before each use, I like that. To activate the biphase formula. Saturate a cotton ball and gently press onto skin to melt makeup, then swipe to remove. So yeah, it's an oil and water one, and it is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Do you remember I have been talking about trying to find one that is a drugstore one, and I do use, like I said, the Garnier ones. The Garnier ones are a bit milder. I feel like they are not quite as powerful as getting off my eye makeup. They do it, and that's what I've been using because I love like the Niod Low Viscosity Cleaning Ester, which is just an oil type one, and that's brilliant. And there's I think there's a number 7 one that I like. There's quite a few that I like, but that are expensive. And this is by e.l.f., so obviously not expensive. I love it so much. I have ordered I think I got a pack of 3 bottles or something like that from Amazon, maybe 2, maybe 3, I don't know, but I was like, yeah, I would really like to have some more of this, so I have a couple more of this, and this was my second bottle as well. So I use it to take, I either use this or this other e.l.f. item that I'm going to talk about. I either use this with my reusable cotton to take my makeup off eye and face, or I use this in the bath and shower with a face cloth. So this is the Holy Hydration Makeup Melting Cleansing Balm. I haven't actually bought another one of these because there is another cleansing oil that I found that I'm really enjoying using in the shower to take makeup off. Enjoying as much as this that I will talk about in favourites, but I do really enjoy this e.l.f. If you like that sort of melting cleansing balm type product, you'll like this, I think. It's one that just doesn't, I shouldn't even say why I like this, just because it's powerful, you know, it just easily gets your makeup off. And I've been trying out some more mascaras, and I've had a lot of heavy duty mascaras going on. Like I wore a waterproof one at the funeral because I knew I'd be crying my eyes out, and that is difficult to get off, but much, much easier when you're using something like this. What was I going to say about this? I like this one because it doesn't sting my eyes. You know, you can rub it right into your eyes like that and it doesn't sting your eyes at all, and it doesn't leave my skin feeling tight. Doesn't feel oily, my eyes don't feel misty afterwards. Love it, love both of those e.l.f. Holy Hydration items. Ooh, I have to go and take drugs. I have to go and take... If there's anybody else that struggles to swallow tablets, like I'm sure you've heard me say it before, I have to eat something. I'm eating some pecan nuts, and then it's not until it's like the minute they're ready to swallow I have to shove the tablet in, and it doesn't always work, but it's psychological. It's totally psychological. I have to trick myself. I would love to know if there's anybody else that's had this problem and got over it. I've even went to hypnotherapy to try and get over it, and it didn't work. I want to try that again though. See, you know what's ridiculous? I feel like you guys are watching me and I'm like, no, I can't do it. People watching me. Yeah, I would love to know if anybody's overcome that ridiculous problem. This is the Q&A niacinamide. I was also using this in my skincare routine that I did. Was I? Yes, I was, because I've got 3 different versions of this. This is the niacinamide one, and I'm currently using the peptide one. I probably wouldn't buy this one again purposely, but I wouldn't avoid it, if that makes sense. I'm not like, I loved it, I'm going to run out and buy it. It was a little bit watery for me, and I'm finding that with the other one as well. It's just doesn't feel as creamy as it should, is my kind of final conclusion. And there's ones that I like better. Still on SPFs, I thought I'd show you these because I love these. I might actually see if I can get another set of these little miniatures, because these were great for taking away on holiday. But the brand is, I don't know whether you say Tocobo or Tocobo, but I loved these. I don't know what I loved about them. That's what I was trying to think there. What did I love about them? Is there any left? Yeah. Oh, they've got a tiny bit of a scent. You know what I'm like. The last sort of 6 months, I've really been into things that have a scent. Does this one have a scent as well? But I know a lot of you won't want that at all. Oh God, I can't get anything out of this one. Right. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see if this one has a scent. No, that was the unscented one. I did have my my memory is correct in that. So this is the unscented one. I don't think I ever did a review. It's another one of those SPFs that I had so many SPFs, and I just didn't have the brain power this year to, you know, do all the research and write all the notes and remember everything about them. But I did really enjoy those, and I would repurchase them. In fact, I do have a larger tube. So tell me if it's worth me even doing SPF reviews during the winter. Maybe, because we all, you know, a lot of us wear it through the winter, don't we? Are they 30 or 50? That's the thing. That's the key. Because a lot of you, like me, only wear an SPF 30 in winter. 50 and 50. They're both 50. Oh, this one is called a watery sun cream. It's a PA++++, which I know you guys like. This one is a ++++ also, and there's Vita Tone Up Sun Cream. But I really liked both of those. Really liked them. Then this is a fail, unfortunately. It's the NIOD Fractionated Eye Contour Concentrate. I really wanted to love this because I enjoy using it. And it's one of those items that is ultra expensive, great ingredients. A lot of people love it and rave about it and say it does wonders for them. And you only need the tiniest amounts. I always think products like that are great because you can afford to invest in it, because it'd probably last you a year. Like this tiny little bottle would probably last me, I don't know, 6 months. You need like one drop like that, and then it's so lovely and silky that it kind of covers your whole eye, you know. Kev just phoned me there, and that's really thrown me. What was I saying about this? Oh, saying that, you know, you only need the tiniest amount. But unfortunately, this has dried out my eyes. I feel like that's happened. I've tried this several times over the years because it's one of those products, like I said, I really want to love. And I got this free with one of my orders in November. And I love how it feels, but it's just, oh, I could give this to my mum. I haven't sent her box off yet. I'm going to leave that down there. It might work for her, but it is, yeah, it just dries out my eye area, weirdly. Okay, another fail, actually. Let me tell you about this. I don't know if I've told you about this. I looked at photos, but I didn't have any great photos. But I started this castor oil. You can see how much I've used. I've used half a bottle of this. And I started it probably, I don't know, a year ago. You may remember me talking about it, having bought it. And I loved how it felt under my eyes. It was really nice and thick. It was a little bit sticky. I think I bought this to use in my hair. Did not like how it felt in my hair at all. It's not something I would use all over my face. I know there's various ways people have been using castor oil. People use it on their tummy or on a kind of pad to let it absorb, and for all sorts of things. But I have used that much on my eyes, and that's a lot. And I used it consistently, and I feel like it did absolutely nothing. Other than possibly it hydrated. You know, I didn't feel that I had dry under eyes at all. But in terms of lines, under eye bags, under eye dark circles, nothing. Didn't do anything for it at all. So castor oil for me was a fail, and I think I'm one of the few. Okay, everything else is makeup apart from this skincare, hair care. This is the hairspray that I forgot to talk about. This is the Moroccan oil extra strong finish. Oh, I didn't know it was extra strong luminous hairspray. Let's see if there's any left. This was one of those that, it's all right. Do you know what? It has got a tiny hint of the Moroccan oil smell, which is lovely. If you know the Moroccan oil smell and love it, then it's worth getting this. This is the nicest smelling hairspray I've used. And there's a tiny, tiny bit left in that. But I would probably buy this again, actually. It was pretty good. Yeah, I can feel that in my hair, but it's not, I wouldn't call that extra strong. You know, it's not going to hold my hair. I always think of like when I want my fringe to stay away from my forehead, if it's strong enough to hold it like that, and it would hold it for a little bit. But if you went outside, that would be it done, you know. Okay, on to makeup. This is, I talked to you about this. It's the Fenty Beauty foundation stick. And you know what? I could probably use that on a brush. I could use that all up, but I just was getting fed up with it because I actually felt like this was taking me longer to apply than my other makeup. And I think I just annoyed myself when I was talking to you guys about how you don't get very much for the money and that kind of thing. I don't know. And then I noticed how it is only a light coverage makeup. This is not a medium coverage, which I think is why it took me longer, because I put it on and then I'd go over it again in the kind of center, you know, and it just wasn't full coverage enough for me. And yeah, I didn't find it easy to apply. And that was kind of the idea for me. And it's a lot of money for, I was going to say for not getting very much, but like I said, I feel like I could use that a lot more. But anyway, it's not a repurchase for me, this Fenty foundation. Another foundation fail, unfortunately, is the Born This Way Soft Matte. Do you remember I showed you this in a haul, and I said, you know, I was just curious. I've been curious about this one because I tried the Born This Way and I could not find the right colour for me. But I was really meticulous about looking at colours. They had a lot of testers out for this, and I got the colour Pearl, and the colour Pearl seemed to be the right colour for me when I had my self-tan on. And so I was just using this as my everyday foundation, and I was like, oh, you know, it's okay. I'd put it on and think, well, it's okay, because there was something about the original Too Faced Born This Way foundation that I didn't love when I put it on. But the other day I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and this had gone so cakey, and I guess I just hadn't been checking for that. And it was a long time that I'd had it on, but I still was like, this is no good. And I thought, I'm going to keep an eye on it tomorrow. And I looked the following day, and again, it was cakey, and it wasn't that long. It was like maybe 3 or 4 hours, and it just looked terrible, and it had separated into like clumps, if that makes sense, you know, where you could see that actually my self-tan was fading and it wasn't the right, it just didn't look good at all. And so this is a fail, and I will not be repurchasing. I've written my notes on things that I know I'm gonna forget what my issue was. Not enough pigment. This is the Barry M On Point. It's a felt tip liner. Oh, I can't take the top off because I've sellotape that note on. Never mind, I'm just going to chuck it anyway. I've really been into felt tip eyeliners lately, and trying them out. And this one just didn't have enough pigment. You know, I do use a felt tip liner for the little winged bit and sometimes on the whole eye, but not enough pigment in that one. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Epic Ink Liner. This one is kind of the opposite problem. It has loads of pigment. Now I need to be careful when I open it, because the problem is, even just by opening it, sometimes it sprays. And look how pigmented that is. But I don't know whether you can see. If I just put the side of it down, can you see how much is coming out there? It actually, and this has done this to me. I think I've tried this 3 or 4 times, this pen, because I love it. It's absolutely brilliant in terms of it's very pigmented. But it seems to be that after a couple of weeks, I'd say, of use, for some reason it just starts leaking, as you saw there, and that's no good, because like I said, you'll pull the top off and it kind of sprays, you know, and you get little sprays on things, and then you try and use it on your eye and it's just it's going everywhere. So that is actually a fault, you know, it's a fault in the use, because it happens after a couple of weeks of using it. There's still plenty of pigment, but it's leaking, it's just coming out way too fast. So that is a fail. That's the next one. Probably mostly fails in here with my makeup. Very rarely use something up. Too crispy and hard to remove. This is the e.l.f. Lash Extender. Do you remember I said I've been trying a few more mascaras? Because you guys know I'm always on the hunt for the perfect mascara. Yeah, that says it all really, doesn't it? Too crispy. I don't like it when your eyelashes are too crispy. Like this one I've gotten today, which is, do you remember I found that one that I love? Is it by 17? They don't do it anymore. That always happens, doesn't it? And I love it. I bought a couple, you know, to have in stock when they did do it, and now they don't do that one anymore. But this one, yeah, too crispy and hard to remove. I didn't like that. I feel like it's damaging to my lashes when it's crispy, because you're removing it and it's hard, and I think that, yeah, just not my bag, that one. This one, is this another? This is a collection one. Yeah, that one was e.l.f. This is collection Fast Stroke. I thought, well, because I'd went to the collection area, which has collection 17, that kind of thing. And I liked the look of this brush. And I thought, right, okay, let me see if I can find another one. And this one, I have said, spiky brush. Ooh, I think that came out of that Fenty foundation, you know. I did think that something had come off it. This tissue. Spiky brush and too thick a formula. Yeah, I remember that. When it goes on, it's one of those that sort of clump your lashes together, and you would need to use a comb afterwards, which I just can't be bothered with, to be honest. But also that spiky brush, if it happens just once, where, you know, you're like, oh, it suddenly pokes on your eyeball and your eyes water, and you think, okay, that was just me not being careful. But this happened about 3 or 4 times, and I was like, no, enough. This is just poking me in the eye, because you need to get to the base of your lashes, you know. And so you do go quite close. I don't think it's hitting my eyeball. I think it's hitting the inside of my eyelid, but it hurts, and I don't want that from a mascara. And it wasn't that good anyway. Like I said, it was too thick. Any others? Oh, this one I've not put a note on. Oh dear. This is the Glam Doll. Who is this by? Catrice. Oh, I don't know what was wrong with this. I have to put a note on, otherwise I just don't remember. There was something wrong with this, which makes me feel like I have to use it again. It is that same kind of plasticky brush, so maybe this one was poking me in the eye again. So I'm afraid I don't know what to say about that one, the Glam Doll, but it didn't work for me. Thankfully, I put a note on this. This is the Kiko Maxi Mod Volume and Definition. This is the one, I had this in a limited edition, and I love the little brush. This used to be one of my favourite mascaras. I've put on here Clumpy. and I don't know whether it's a different formula because the one I bought was in a blue square tube and it was the limited edition, but they said it was the same one. But this one I found just was too, again, doing that thing where it clumps your lashes together. Funny enough, it was the waterproof version of this I wore on the day of the funeral that I said I needed waterproof on because I knew I'd be crying. And that one, that might be a winner actually. I'm going to try that a few more times because that one didn't seem as clumpy, but this one did. Another eyeliner, I promise you there's more than just eyeliner and mascara in this makeup. This is the Catrice Calligraph Pro matte liner. Love this one. This is really, really good. Oh, that's annoying. There is really hardly any of this left, but I think sometimes when it's left to sit, you know, and I do a swipe, it looks like there's loads left. But if I then went to use it on my eyes, I'd realise that it was running out. You know, this is one that I've gone through. So I do like these, but they're not often in stock. So this is the Catrice Calligraph Pro matte liner. Oh, it says waterproof. So I do like that one, but can't always get it. I think I get that one off Just My Look. Okay, everything else looks to be concealers. Wow, is that all concealers apart from these two random things? This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand Contour. If you like contour, this is brilliant. I was trying to use it as a sort of bronzer, but it just isn't the right colour. But it's handy to use, you know, you just take the top off but I just don't really know what I'm doing with contouring, so I want to warm up my face. I don't really want to contour it. So it just, I kept on using it. I thought, I'm not really achieving what I want to here. You know, I want a bit more of a sort of, I don't know what the difference is in the colours that I use, because what am I using? I'm using my Niod photography fluid. So it's not a bad product. It's just not one for me. And this is the UK Lash Eyelash Serum. I think this has worked for some of you, but for me, it did absolutely bugger all. It's an eyelash growth serum, and I think this is the second time I've tried it. It did not work for me. So I'm back to using the Grande lash. Pretty sure it's Grande lash that I'm using, and I can feel my eyelashes starting to get a little bit of length. Right, literally everything else is a concealer. No, that's not true because that's an eyeshadow. And what is that? Beauty Pie. Oh, this is the Beauty Pie brightener, under eye brightener. So it's kind of a concealer. I think you're supposed to use it under a concealer. And you can see I made a good old dent in there. I tried that because I have got some dark circles and some bags and all the rest of it, and it just didn't seem to add anything. And it was an extra step that I was like, no, you know what? I'm not getting anything from it. This is the NYX Glow Shots. Some beautiful coloured eyeshadows. But actually you can kind of see it with this. Can you see that you can see through that? No, I don't think you will see it on my hand. But it was patchy on my eye. Like I needed to go in twice. And I had a funny feeling that going in twice would make it not last as long. Because, you know, when it's just in a bit of a thick layer, but doing one layer, it was just, you couldn't really see the colour. So I put another layer on, and then within half an hour it was just all sort of, there was little gaps in it. It just isn't good. Just isn't very good. I have not found NYX eyeshadow ever to be very good in either powder or these type of things that they do. Just not good. Okay, these concealers, what's wrong with them? Oh, what's right with them? This is the Stay Naked Quickie. This is so pigmented, which is fabulous. I'm going to do one swipe and show you. Look at that. There's a lot of pigment in this. And that is fantastic if you are young or don't have any lines and probably don't have any bags. But if you don't have any lines and you just want to cover up dark circles, this will probably be a good one for you. Great coverage, doesn't budge, etc, etc. But if you've got lines, if you've got crow's feet, then forget it, because it does just show them up. And I'm realizing that I need to not use one that's got a really full coverage, unfortunately. This one is interesting because I told you guys about this one. It's the KVD concealer. Again, super duper pigmented. And I said to you guys, the first time I swatched it, I was like, oh, that's way too pigmented. That's not going to work for me. And I had tried it a few times and gone, no, it's just too thick. And then I started using it with a brush and it was a lot better. But I think the combination of it being full coverage and my realization that I just need to not use full coverage because of these crow's feet, it's just not for me. I'm too heavy-handed. I find it really hard to use just a tiny bit of something, and that's what you need to do. And it's just not for me. I did use that for quite some time though. I was going to say I'm nearly at the bottom, and I thought, how do you know? Because I don't know whether that's part of the bottle or the actual concealer, but you know, it's well used. I don't feel bad not using it anymore. And then this one is, I did really like this one. It's the Sculpted by Amy Brighten Up. But this is also full coverage, not quite as much as the others. This is a really good colour when I've got a tan, in that it's not, you know, I can often use a colour that's too bright, and you can see that's more like my skin tone, isn't it? But again, it's just too full coverage. But I am definitely, you can see that there's not very much here, so in order to use this I'm having to, like, you know, scrape against the edges. So I did use that up, but I'm not going to repurchase that one, just because, like I said, I'm trying to go for sort of lighter ones. This one is the Revolution Eye Bright. I hope they still do this. I really hope they still do this. It's got a sponge on the end. This one is also well used. This is, in fact, I don't think there's a single thing left of this, but I bought 2 of these in different colours. What is this one? And you can see this one. Can you tell that that's a bit of a lighter formula? That's quite a dark colour though, isn't it? And that is called Light. I think the other one I've got is in Fair. I really like this. I've bought these a couple of times. I've bought them more than once for sure, because I do really enjoy that. It is nice and light. The fact that it's got that sponge on the end is great. Now you can't blend it in with that, but you can sort of dot it on, and as long as you don't keep on twisting, you know, I don't have to twist very often. There's enough left on the sponge each time that it sort of helps to temper my enthusiasm, you know, for putting too much on. So I do really, really like this and highly recommend it. I hope it's still available, and if it is, I will link it for you, of course. Okay, there were a lot of empties there, I know. I thought it didn't look like there was much in there, did it? But it was obviously mostly makeup. I hope that you enjoyed that. Everything is going okay with us, although it's still pretty stressful, because we've had the funeral. We finally were able to have the funeral. They needed to do, or they wanted to do a post-mortem. The, what do you call them, Procurator Fiscal wanted to do a post-mortem on Kev's mum. For those of you that don't know, his mum was found deceased at his home, sadly. But a lot of our focus has been on Kev's dad, because Kev's dad is in hospital. He's in a rehab unit. He has Parkinson's. And so we're trying to figure out, well, up until now, we've been trying to figure out how we could get him to the funeral. Yeah, so he was able to go to the funeral, thankfully. We just kept him in his wheelchair and went in a special taxi between all the different, between the crematorium and then the hotel where we had the wake, etc. And that all went really well. Of course, it was an extremely sad day, but she was a very popular lady. Kev's mum she was Brown Owl for years. So the Guiding Association people were there. There was a lot of people there, a lot of people to meet, and a lot of funny stories about her. So it was nice, but like I said, extremely sad. You know, seeing his dad upset is just heartbreaking. But now our focus is back on his dad, and whether or not, we don't know if he can come out of hospital and go home. They've been out and done one assessment with Kev, and they now need to go back out with his dad and see how he gets on, you know, and see if there's adjustments that can be made. So we're looking into all that, while still dealing with all the stuff from his mum, because she, like I said, had a lot going on in her life, and so there's a lot of things to do. Yeah, I don't know why I did that little catch up. I was about to give you a catch up on Watson, but there's nothing major. He's doing okay. He's living his best life. As always, he has some health challenges, but we are on top of them, I think. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. Let me tell you what I've got on makeup wise. I'm wearing the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation in number 5, I believe. I have got on a complete mishmash of eyeshadows. There's no point telling you. My blush is the KVD blush in can't remember, we'll leave in the description. The lipstick is Jaclyn Hill X Morphe in Outspoken. It's one of my favourite lipsticks. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.